everyone, it's Tuesday, March 6th. This is Talk to Me Tuesday, and I'm Abby. Back at you again from last week. We had a snowstorm come through, which actually helped me out a bit. I was able to get a lot of sewing done, and I finished a couple different projects. I my sewing machine, I think I told you, was in the shop to get cleaned while we were out at one of my daughter's auditions. So I've been using my Janome, which is my Take to Class Janome, and I set it in where my Neki is, and Nikis are made by Janome. So when I set it in, it actually, it was fine. It was just like my more expensive machine, and so I went ahead and started working on some other projects, like finishing up some of the blocks for the musical bento box. Um, as I was finishing up these blocks, I realized that I did not have enough of this gold material to finish these blocks, which were supposed to be the outer blocks, the corners here. So after the snowstorm, Wednesday and Thursday, I was able to go down to the quilt shop on Saturday, where I purchased the original fabric, and lo and behold, surprise, surprise, they no longer have the fabric. When I bought the fabric, it may have been over a year ago, I had no idea what I was going to do with it, so I only got a half a yard of everything. Note to self, you need more than a half a yard if you're doing a big project. So I begged the woman, I said, do you have anything still left in the line itself, which consisted of this, 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 and there's a light yellow here. And she said, I think I have 2 fat quarters of this material, but in aqua. And I'm like, okay. So, bought the 2 fat quarters, because at this point I'm out of options, and I went with it. So now these will be the outer squares, and as you can see, I've eliminated the gold from here and just made a wider log cabin strip out of the turquoise, the medium turquoise. And I think it's going to work fine. I think I've got enough. I just didn't want to have more than I needed. And I reversed it. I put the darker teal on the outside now instead of the inner border like it is here. And I knew I had plenty of this left. So I think that's going to work for the outer borders and stuff. So that's the new order, and I think it's going to work fine. I think it's going to look, in fact, I actually kind of like it better than having all the light blue around. I think it's really going to make these pop, and it's going to work. It's going to work well. It's really coming along. So anyways, back to last week with the snowstorm, I was able to finish another UFO. Another quilt is done. Yay! That's 2 since the beginning of the year, so I'm quite impressed with myself. It's a tumbler quilt. Whoop. I'll go back. That's my first tumbler quilt. I started it when I lived in New York 4 years ago. I had cut out the squares, out the tumble blocks, but I hadn't put it together until I found the squares last summer. And when I got it back from the quilter, all it was the tumbler blocks. It was like this. And I looked at it and I said, gosh, I really want that a little bit bigger. And thankfully, my quilter hadn't trimmed away the batting in the backing. She had left it just in case I wanted to fold over and do the binding that way. And I'm glad she did, because what I ended up doing, as you can see here, is adding a 3-inch border around the quilt, which is probably what I should have done in the first place. And so I sewed that on, flipped it over, pinned it down, and then went ahead and actually sewed on a standalone binding onto it. Came out really nice, and I like it. I think it's gonna go in a trunk of gifties for the future, because I have nieces coming up graduating, and or if somebody needs something, I can give it to them. But that worked out really well, and I'm happy to have it done. I did get back my other quilt from the quilter, but I'm waiting to I want to put the binding on that before I show you. I love the quilting that he did on it. He put a lot of time into it, and it's phenomenal. He wanted me to quilt it, but I've never worked on a long arm, so I wasn't ready to do that on a project that I really liked. Well, another thing that happened in my life was I got one of these. Woo! I turned 50 yesterday. Yes, it's just a number, but as I sat back and thought about it yesterday afternoon, I'm like, that means I've only got 20 or 30 years to finish all the quilt ideas I want to do, so I better get cracking. In the afternoon, I took some time for myself. I had a quiet day, which was fine. My husband had to work, my daughter was in school, and my son's at college. So I just took a few minutes and made myself a new little zippered pouch. I'm going crazy with these zippered pouches, but I really like it. I love France. I used to live in France. I lived there for 2 years. My sister-in-law gave me some makeup, so I decided I'm throwing out my old makeup bag, which is grungy, and it was just something that, had come with, I don't know, it wasn't very big at all. So this one's a little bit bigger, which is good, and, I can throw it in the wash if it gets dirty now. So I'm really excited. Got that done. Yay, for me. Something for me. Other than that, well, I say other than that, I sewed together the rows on my POD that I'm going to give to my friend for her 50th birthday. And tomorrow and Thursday, we have another nor'easter coming. So I'm anticipating a lot of good sewing. I also just found out my son is coming home tonight instead of Friday for spring break. Unfortunately, he lost a friend this weekend in a car accident, a young fireman. He was 21, and my son, he's very upset, and the funeral's on Friday. So his spring break was supposed to start Friday. He talked to the professors, and with the snowstorm coming in, his advisor, he said, just go home and take care of your, do what you got to do, and don't worry about the class that he's going to miss tomorrow. So I haven't told my daughter. She's going to be surprised when he walks in the door tonight, but I think it'll be a good surprise for all of us. Enough of the sad stuff. I hope you guys all get to sew this week, or at least the next 2 days, like I'm going to. And I've got another trip this weekend with my daughter. Last one after this. Hopefully she'll have a decision, and she's already told me we have another trip in April because she made the dean's list, and they've invited her back to Ithaca to attend classes and have a private lesson. So I know we're definitely doing that, but after April, hopefully all this traveling will be done. Look forward to seeing all your videos. Hang in there, everybody. Have fun. Life's too short not to. Bye.